Hello everybody, welcome to another Pokéstoric episode. Although it's not really episode 2, but it's a Galar fossil edition. So this video, as you probably guessed by now, I wanted to primarily focus on reviving the fossil Pokemon of Galar. Like a main episode, I'll sort them out by the date of the animals that lived and went extinct. There's going to be one less entry because obviously there's only 4 kinds of animals in the Galar fossil record. Also, please understand that while I did try to make these designs my own, I am limited by the designs of the existing Pokemon. Also, I'm aware that my designs would look similar to so many other people's on the internet, so I do apologise if they do look too similar, but I did try to make them unique and my own. So I just encourage everyone to just look on the internet and see all the variety of, well, what Galar fossil Pokemon would look like. This is, as I said, my own attempt, but so many other people have done really great designs, which I think a lot would be better than mine. Anyway, let's start the video. The first animal we will be covering is one of the most famous fish of all time, Dunkleosteus. Fossils of Dunkleosteus were first discovered in 1867 by Terrell, a local hotel owner who often walked the beach and collected fossils with his son along the cliffs of Cove Beach in the town of Sheffield Lake. Before Dunkleosteus had its own genus name, it was part of the Dinichthys genus and was named Dinichthys terrelli. It wasn't until the remains were restudied that Dinichthys was a different genus, not a species, to D. terrella. As a result, it was renamed to Dunkleosteus terrella. The genus was named after Dr. David Dunkle, the first museum curator who had done extensive work on the fossil specimens. The species, terrelli, is named in honour of Terrell. With the fossil specimens, only the skull is known, so trying to figure out the rest of the body was troublesome. In fact, many placoderms related to Dunkleosteus had the same issue. The results of the animal we know today were a result of insights from smaller placoderms such as Coccocetus, which were better preserved due to being covered sooner after death, protecting the carcasses from scavengers. Along with Titanichthys, Dunkleosteus was one of the largest predatory placoderm fish in the known fossil record. However, while Titanichthys was a filter feeder, Dunkleosteus was an apex predator. In its diet, Dunkleosteus wasn't picky, feasting from other placoderms, sharks, and even other Dunkleosteus. This example of cannibalism was evidenced with bite marks being shared with their bite. To consume their armoured prey, Dunkleosteus, rather than teeth, had sharp, bony plates that were made from the same material as their armour. Added with powerful jaw muscles, it was able to crush and rip apart its prey. However, due to having powerful jaws, they wouldn't have withstood their own bite, hence why they still had their head armour. Although it had a powerful bite, with a bite force of 2 metric tons, it falls short compared to the more recent fish, the Megalodon, with over 5 times the bite force of 11 metric tons. However, Dunkleosteus was also capable of opening its mouth 1/15th of a second, creating a powerful suction that pulls its prey into its mouth. After digesting the soft tissue of its prey, Dunkleosteus spits out the tough remains, mainly bone and body armour. A random piece of trivia, Dunkleosteus were among one of the earliest animals to have sexes, male and female, meaning they had to reproduce sexually. Although it isn't certain how these apex predators died, it could either be due to their extreme digestive lifestyle, being outcompeted by sharks, or the Great Devonian mass extinction, which would have wiped them, the placoderms, and up to 80% of all species on Earth. Whew! That was a lot to cover. Yes, Dunkleosteus was an amazing animal that ruled the Devonian seas. Plus, with its iconic appearance, it's no wonder why many know this animal. So, let's see what this apexic, is that right, apexic? This apexic armoured fish would look like as a Pokemon. Although yes, I think a lot of you know what's coming. In the earlier stages of this planet's life, this Pokemon was an apex predator with a bite that could crush the toughest metals. However, when faster and more powerful Pokemon emerged, these Pokemon went extinct soon after. This is Dunklevish! Sounds German. This Pokemon is a result of separating the head from either a Dracoturo or an Arctovish. The design is simply a Pokemon Dunkleosteus, but is a very solid design, plus it is quite elegant. Being fully restored, Dunklevish now becomes truer to itself. For stats, it has brilliant attack and defense and HP, but is frail in the special department. Oh, and it's quite slow. For abilities, it has Water Absorb for stalling. For the offensive, it has Strong Jaw and the recovered ability Rockhead. For moves, it has a diverse set, primarily physical moves and biting moves. I probably said this in October last year, but I love the modern Leech Life, which is amazing with Strong Jaw. You can either have one of these sets. Strong Jaw with Crunch, Leech Life, Vicious Rend and Ice Fang. Yes, I know they're all attack moves, so you can have a Rest Talk set if you rather, or substitutes. Rockhead with Head Smash and a Rest Talk set. Water Absorb, my least preferred choice, with Leech Life, another Rest Talk set, and Scald. Probably could do better than what I gave, but I think Dunklevish could be a great Rest Talk sleeper. However, although it learns Ice Fang, it is still vulnerable to grass types and any special sweeper such as Roserade or Rotom. I swear we don't stay in the Paleozoic long. Anyway, we have our first and possibly only dinosaur in this video, Tuojiangosaurus. Tuojiangosaurus was the first discovered stegosaur in China and is the best known in Asia. This stegosaur had distinctive triangular plates that ran from its neck down to its lower end of its tail, or well, I suppose it would be the top of the lower spine, yeah, the end of the lower spine. These plates were too brittle to withstand a powerful bite from a predator, so it is more likely used to distinguish between the genera and species. Much like how Stegosaurus used its stegomizers to defend itself against Allosaurus, Tuojiangosaurus used this against Asian predatory dinosaurs such as Sinraptor. As it doesn't have the tall spines for muscle attachment like other stegosaurs, Tuojiangosaurus likely didn't rear on its hind legs, suggesting it ate low-laying and ground vegetation. A particular speculation, suggested by Gregory S. Poole, who studied the thagomizers of the fossil specimens, that Chilangosaurus and Chunkingosaurus were in fact juveniles of Tuojiangosaurus. If you want to see one today, there is a skeleton in the Field Museum in Chicago, fighting a Monolophosaurus. It is quite odd that Tuojiangosaurus had such unique plating, and I thought that stegosaurs didn't raise on their hind legs anyway, so shows how much I know before doing all this recording stuff. Anyway, let's see what this triangular plated lizard would look like as a Pokemon. A single swipe from Dracoturo's tail is enough to pierce or break bones. I know, that was a bit lazy, but I did not know what else to write. Out of all designs, this is my least favourite. I mean, I am happy with connecting the Pokemon to the Tuojiangosaurus, but I feel it could have been more creative with the head shape and the body. And I forgot to do the spikes on the sides. So, that was stupid of me. But what do you guys think? Anyway, for stats, Dracoturo has a good spread, primarily focusing on defense with some offensive backing. For abilities, Dracoturo has the ability called Thagomizer, I know, very creative, which is great for offense. This is the same for Hustle at the cost of accuracy. For a sweeping set, you can have Sand Rush, giving Dracoturo 130 speed in a sandstorm. For moves, there's a wide assortment to choose from, although I highly recommend physical moves. Personally, you can either go for one of these sets. Thagomizer with Slam, Quadron Pierce, which is a new move I made up, Iron Tail, and Protect. Sand Rush with Bite, Earthquake, Iron Tail, Rock Slide, and Outrage. I just realised that Dracoturo is a herbivore equivalent to Tyrantrum. Reminds me of a child of a Stegosaur taking on T-Rex. It reminds me of that Disney musical. I can't remember what the thing was called, but it was like a long film with all these animated segments backed up by orchestral backing. Can't remember. Anyhow, it is weak to many types including fighting, ice, and even dragon. Although it has good defensive speed, it isn't good enough against Lucario or Tyrantrum, ironically. However, in doubles, if a Sand Rush set is summoned with a Sandstream Pokemon such as a Powdon, it can be a fast special wall thanks to its rock typing. Out of the Jurassic and into the Cretaceous, we have a Tylosaur, the Taniwhasaurus. The remains of this reptile were first discovered in New Zealand in 1874. The remains of this reptile were first discovered in New Zealand in 1874. This particular species in Antarctica in 1974. Yeah. For me, I was thinking like, wait, did they write the same date twice? No, it was just 100 years later. Taniwhasaurus is named after a Maori legend of a protective water being associated with specific locations. Can't remember what that's called, but I'll put it on screen. It is remarkably similar to Tylosaurus, having a lack of teeth in the front areas of the jaw, which is suggested to be an adaptation to ram into their prey. However, Taniwhasaurus had a shorter skull, also suggesting it being an opportunistic predator. Sadly, there isn't a ton of information surrounding this animal, at least anything I found interesting. Just an Arctic mosasaur. I just thought it's really cool. Anyway, let's see what this Arctic mosasaur would look like as a Pokemon.
It's a Tylosaur, you do.
Oh, I mean Tylosaur. Tylosaur. Thank you. Rarely seen as they live in the coldest oceans, Arctonia are ambush predators that can freeze their prey. Any leftovers are stored in its thick, woolly pelt. This is Arctonia, and I feel quite mixed about its design. It works, but I feel the head looks a bit too aggressive for the rest of the softer areas of the design. However, I do like what I've done with the palette, making everything an icy blue, except for the eyes. For stats, it is specially orientated, but does offer some physical offense and defense too. For abilities, it has Snow Warning for support, Ice Body for recovery, and Slush Rush for sweeping. For moves, it has a mixture of physical and special with some status. I would recommend having Hail if you have Ice Body or Slush Rush, with Blizzard for a bulky sweeper. Snow Warning is better with support, but it is good if you want to spam Blizzard. Having two quad weaknesses, being Fighting and Steel, followed by many other weaknesses, would make Arctonia a frail Pokemon to use. Oh yes, Arctic Typhoon is a great move that can summon a hailstorm and hit your opponents with additional water typing. So that's something. On to our final animal in this video, we have Rahonavis. Rahonavis was discovered in 1995 by a joint expedition of SUNY and the University of Antananarivo. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So many A's. Although it is debated whether or not Rahonavis was a dinosaur or bird, it is believed that it was capable of flight. This is evidenced by its long forelimbs and ligament attachments to the shoulder, which is used to turn to a degree of wing motion, basically able to flap like a bird. This animal was accused of being a chimera, a made-up animal from an assortment of other animal parts. However, this was disproven when it was stated that the wing and shoulder bones were found within the same small area. Again, not too much I can find about Rahonavis, but it is still quite interesting. I think okay, maybe not the most interesting, but that's just because of the lack of information. Anyway, let's see what this chimeric bird would look like as a Pokemon. In ancient times, Cloudzolt was the top predator, able to take down prey much larger than itself. This is thanks to its ability to briefly fly onto treetops for either ambush or to escape from an unsuccessful hunting attempt. I'll admit that dex entry was inspired by a tactic I tried in Saurian using the Dracoturo, which was quite funny. Anyway, Cloudzolt is probably my favourite next to Dunklevish, as it's simple yet really exciting to look at. For stats, Cloudzolt has the most drastic change with brilliant speed, followed with offense. However, it had to sacrifice its HP and defenses. For abilities, Cloudzolt has a Volt Absorb, great in doubles or switching in, static for defense, and the recovered speed boost. As if it wasn't fast enough. For moves, it has the most diverse set with the most focus on electric moves, oddly followed by dragon moves. Only thing I can think, just to make this Pokemon a sacrificial sweeper with Bolt Break, Electro Ball, Stone Edge, or Hyper Beam. Although not the fastest Pokemon, Cloudzolt is on par with Aerodactyl, Crobat, and Noise Form Ice Cube. Yeah, I only just found that out, and oh blowy, I want to make a meme. After this video, I want to make a meme. Anyway, apart from faster Pokemon or anything bulkier, I can only say that Cloudzolt is vulnerable to ground types. So here are all the shinies. Paying homage to the original shinies, but make them look pretty. So I know these designs are not final, but I'm happy with my attempt overall. What do you like about these designs, and what would you like to change? Please let me know down in the comments.
Kinda mean to take 4 animals at once.
Don't worry, I'm aware of that. Although there are restrictions, artists can use the dinosaurs I used as long as the Pokemon they make are connected to these guys. They can be revived, Mega Evolved, G-Maxed, or even regional variants. And I may one day hold a competition of redesigning these Pokemon.
Wouldn't that get messy with the Megafin revival forms?
Well, I thought that could be done as a 100,000 sub celebration special.
Ambitious, but I respect that.
Thanks. Yeah, usually in this segment I would just say thanks, so I would just like to thank all the artists who let me use their videos or artwork as cutaways in the dinosaur segments. And please don't think these are like the best ones on the internet. In my opinion, there are so many better designs than what I've made here. Although I'm happy with what I've done, I'm happy to admit they are quite bad compared to so many others on the internet. So please check them out. I might actually put a few in the description below. So check that. Before I wrap up this video, I just wanted to point a few things that I realised while making this video. While researching Dunkleosteus, there may be other placoderms that could fit the Vish head much better, since the skull looks a bit slender for Dunkleosteus. Tuojiangosaurus isn't the only dinosaur with triangular plating. Another stegosaurid, Chunkingosaurus, would have also fit for the Draco part. Plus, Tuojiangosaurus didn't have shoulder spikes, which I thought I missed when making Dracoturo. Once again, talking about Dunklevish, I swear the name was on top of my head, but I found an artist who also named their restored fish Dunklevish. The artist is from DeviantArt named RZGmon200. Please check him out. For the fossil revival segments, the classic Pokemon evolution, I did enjoy making that, as I got to do a bit of basic rhythm editing, as well as including 8-bit music from the earliest Pokemon games. As I said before, I do plan to revisit this topic, as I know the designs could be better, especially from what I've seen online. Not only that, but there may be some information I've either got wrong or missed when it came to the animal influences. And I'd like to thank the artists whose artwork has featured in this video, mainly for the animal segments, for letting me use them for the cutaway animal segments. If you want to see more videos like this, where me and many other artists get a little bit creative, please check out my Pokemon Creations series. And if you want to see more of my art, then please check out my social media. And if you want to support this channel and gain a few nice perks, such as having your own mini version of these videos, then please check out my Patreon. The minimum cost is $1, which would give you a name at the end credit, access to most polls, and I can't remember what else, there was another one, I'll put it on screen. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If you want to see more from me, you can either subscribe or just check out my channel to see what other content I have. And if you love this channel, hit that bonzong. In the past, present, or even future, I will see you there. Goodbye!
nice.
Yeah, I told you I was going to make a meme.